You know, we're changing the direction of not only how we do business, but how we manage our finances, what we're doing in terms of an operating plan, a savings plan. We're ensuring that there's going to be sustainability for this province from a fiscal perspective for not just next year or this term, but for the next 20 years. And that's why we've developed a capital plan, a savings plan, and an operating plan to achieve that vision of the next 20 years. Albertans told us that they wanted us to ensure that we put some of the non-renewable resource revenue away in good times and in bad times. They wanted us to make sure that we built that backstop so that future generations, and even in the next 5, 10, 15 years, we have that cash backstop to smooth over those rough areas like today. It's extremely fortunate for us that we did have the Sustainability Fund there for us to smooth this rough spot over. So it's critical. And as an old banker, I learned a long time ago that before you start spending money on a lot of other things, put a little away for yourself. And again, this is coming from the values that Albertans have. They've told us that if it makes financial sense, then you should borrow for larger capital items, like a hospital, like a school, like Highway 63. In times when the interest rates are as low as they are, where Alberta's fiscal position allows it to borrow at some of the lowest rates in the world, it does make financial sense to do that. It also doesn't make financial sense to defer a project because the cost of that deferral is actually more than what it would cost us to borrow for building that project today. So there is a social cost and a financial cost to deferring projects that Albertans need today for a growing province. We're going to be 5 million people in less than 20 years. Fiscal Management Act is going to set out some clear limits as to the top side of the borrowing. But again, this is about making financial management decisions that are the right thing for the value for taxpayers. So we're going to deal with this in a very prudent way, a very responsible way, but there will be caps and there will be limits. Well, everybody's forecasts were wrong last year, and that's kind of the key. We don't come up with them ourselves. We depend on the private and public forecasters that are out there, the Conference Board of Canada, the Hong Kong Bank, the Bank of Montreal, all of the investors, all of the private industry that makes their forecasts. We use all of them, average that out, and that's how we came up with our numbers last year. That's how we're coming up with them this year as well. But we've added another component, and that is this differential. We've gone to industry and asked them what they felt an average would be for the differential, and we've actually taken it and made it a little more conservative than what the industry gave us. But I'm also going to be convening this summer a panel discussion from global leaders around what's the best practice in forecasting methodology that others use, and is there ways that we can improve our forecasting and maybe even make it a lot more transparent so Albertans can see where we get those numbers from. That's an all-hands-on-deck type operation that the Premier is leading, and we've seen that action already on the Canadian energy strategy. Premier's efforts with Quebec have opened up the opportunity for a line to head out to St. John in New Brunswick. The meetings that we've had with the Premier of New Brunswick, the meetings we're working on with other jurisdictions, this is probably one of the most critical aspects of what we need to do as a government in the next 5, 10 years. And it is reflected in our budget that we are going to put a focus on international intergovernmental relations. We're going to make sure that we are having our people on the ground, boots on the ground, if you will, because we do see this as an important, critical aspect, not just for Alberta. This is a critical aspect for Canada. Every province is feeling the impacts of this bitumen bubble that is North America.